Did you know that you can earn a passive stream of fees on Valiant Trade? I'll show you how. Here we are at valiant.trade, and if we go ahead and click on pools, you'll see there's different liquidity pools. Now, if you have no idea what liquidity pools are or what impairment loss is, please watch this video. It will make it significantly clearer. After that, let's continue. So this is where we can essentially put our tokens like our Fogo and USDC into the platform, and then we get fees because every time somebody swaps, they're paying 0.3% as a trading fee. So as an example, there's been $4 million worth of volume in the last couple of hours, and that's generated $12,000 in fees, and that gets allocated to the people that have provided the actual liquidity. So let me go over the basics on how you can provide some liquidity. So firstly, there's only 3 pools here, but it is day one. I'm sure we'll see a whole lot more pools. You'll see pools with something like Sol and USDC, like what we've seen here. You'll also see pools with meme coins and utility tokens, and you may even see pools like Fogo and USDC, but they have a different actual fee attached to them. This is 0.3, it could be higher or lower. Then you've got volume, TVL, and you've got your fees. And over here is the estimated yield. Now this is dynamic, but right now, based on the current volume, the current amount of TVL, and current fees, this is returning very, very decently. Now, of course, if you don't want to play with this, you can just go to Ignition and you can stake your Fogo with the Fogees Hub, direct it there, and then you can earn your yield that way. But this gives you another dynamic that you can use. So let's go through this as an example. We'll click on Fogo and USDC. And over here, these are all of our options. We have some Fogo, and we've got some USDC in this wallet. And if we just go with, say, $10, this will add generally like a 50% ratio between the two assets. If we change this up to 15, you can see it's not exactly 50-50, but it's pretty close to 50-50. At least it's 50-50 here, but the pricing's not like perfectly 50-50. And this, if we go and deposit, this is fine. But this means that we could be buying when it's nothing, and we could be selling when it's very, very, very high. Like if it was $1, we'd still be selling. And this means it's not the most capital efficient way to use your liquidity. Let me show you what I mean. We'll come up here and we'll click on positions. And this pool is the pool that I just clicked on. Now, by the way, this is day one, and these yields, they are dynamic. They can go up, they can go down. We've got no pending yield here yet, but you can see this is where we get our yield in the future. This is when it was added, and this is our price range, meaning we're always going to be in range. It's done with an original algorithm, which basically means that we can provide liquidity when it's really, really low, and we can also earn fees there, and we can earn fees even if one Fogo was $100, we'd still earn fees. Only one Fogo is not going to be $100, at least no time in the near future. So instead of doing it like this, it is normally better to concentrate your liquidity. And let me show you how to do that. Go to pools again, click on Fogo and USDC, and then click on custom. And now we can set what kind of range we want to do. And if you don't know what kind of range you should do, then a really good thing that you can use is the terminal. So up here, we've got the terminal. This shows us, in terms of technical analysis, where the token is. Now, it is day one. It's like hour 4 for Fogo. So this is not going to give us a whole lot of historical data on where we could potentially range. But if we look at another token like Solana, well, if we do look at Solana, this data only goes back a couple of days. So this also doesn't give us the best idea. However, if we go to Trading View, we can see where the price is. Now, there's a few advanced indicators here, and maybe we can go over them in future tutorials. But for now, what we're looking at is a 2-hour time frame. And all I really want to show you is that if we kind of zoom out for a little while, we have been in a range. I've just cleaned up the chart for you for a second, but let's have a look here. Over the last, couple of months, this is essentially our range. If you had your liquidity in this area, you would just keep on accumulating fees. So this is essentially where you'd probably want to do it. Now, of course, if it comes down here, then all of this is not being used actively. So in an ideal world, you need to work out if you want to provide liquidity for quite some time, or if it's quite a short period of time. And the other thing is, this is easy to do in hindsight, but it's not easy to do to work out where it's going to go next. Because right now, we might think, okay, we will provide liquidity on the Solana token all the way down maybe 10%. And then maybe we think we go somewhere up around 15%. So either way, if you have a range where you think the price will go between, that's ideally where you want to provide your liquidity. So with Fogo being so exceptionally new, it doesn't really give us a whole lot of data that we can work with. But for other tokens in the future, you'll be able to use the terminal. So coming back to the pools and then going back into Fogo and then going to custom, let's go and set up a range that we think will maximize our liquidity fees. Keeping in mind, we can suffer from impermanent loss, and our goal is to print more fees than we would suffer from the negative return of impermanent loss. Remember, impermanent loss video you have to watch. So we're going to click on this here and we'll change this around. We might think that like for the first day, and nothing is financial advice, this is just a tutorial to get you on the right path. We might think that we could potentially dip down a little bit. And even if we don't dip down this far, we might be happy to continue to buy at this price point. And we also might think, well, maybe it goes all the way up here. And that's what we want to do. The other thing is we could have different ranges, provide some liquidity, and then have a more broad range as well. Now, this is the range I've decided to change it to. So it's going to be 20% upside, 20% downside. And I'm going to go and put in a small amount, like $15. And it's basically $15 each way. And then deposit. And then deposit has gone through. We can also add whatever it is we want in terms of the range. We could do something that goes all the way up to like all the way up here, whatever price point this is. This is like 30 cents. And we can go all the way down to like less than 1 cent. However, you have to keep in mind that if you do that, it could take a while to go up here, and it could take a long time to get down here, and it may never go here as well. And so if it doesn't go there, then, well, your capital there was inefficient. It didn't actually return a yield in that band, but you can do it. So we'll go with $10 here. We'll go with a bit of Fogo here, and we'll deposit this into this very broad range. And then we can go to our positions, and now you can see the positions. One thing that the UI does is it shows us where we are in our current price. So this is how much more upside we have, and then this is how much downside we have. But if we click on this, I do prefer to visually see this like this. So I know that I am happy to buy the dip all the way down 90%, should that happen, and then go all the way up 474% if that were to happen. And at the same time, every time there's more trading that happens, I will accumulate some yield right here. When it's time to claim yield, just click Claim Yield. As an example, we will use this one here because there's a small amount to claim. We can just come on down and we can claim yield like that. And we just claimed $1.61. So that is an overview of how to provide liquidity and to earn fees. Just keep in mind, I know I've reiterated it a few times, but it's very important that you understand permanent loss before you just dive in here. And if you're new to this, and this is of course not financial advice, but you may want to start with a smaller amount of money to learn the ropes a little bit. Now that you know the basics, you may as well check out the other videos we have that go over dollar cost averaging into and out of a token.